girls, somewhere before the time they're likely to get the period, it should be spoken to them in a situation in which they're already seeing themselves as mothers. Girls of 10 talk about, when I get married, like I want to live in high north. This is like so nice. Okay, whatever. They know about marriage. Okay, they don't know what's involved. They want to marry big tzaddikim like Rabbi Akiva who are home all the time and have fun, but whatever. So Rabbi Akiva and Kelba Savua. But they know marriage, and they know that mommies look different than little girls. So you could say, at a certain age, Hashem gets your body ready to be a mommy. And he makes you look different. And boys also, they get tall, and they get hairy, and they become strong, okay? And girls they look like mommies. That happens outside, and it happens inside, okay? Now, if the girl is reasonably mature, you can move on to the next step in the conversation. And if she's not, you may have to wait for another day and recall this conversation and start again. And what's happening on the outside of bodies happens on the inside too, but we don't see what's going on the inside, right? You know you have lungs because but you don't see. You know you have a stomach because if you ate 10 pieces of pizza, you would feel your stomach, but you don't see your stomach. So there's a place inside the body that's made. It's like a big pocket. That when you get to be a mommy, it's all ready to be the pocket where the baby grows, and that's why pregnant women look different. Okay, time for the next conversation, unless the child is very mature. Okay, so the next conversation, and this is a girl, okay, you could talk about things that are not human in reproduction and then bring it to human. So if you have a garden, you could talk about planting seeds. If you don't have a garden, you could how did all those birds get there? Okay, how come boy chickens look different than girl chickens? So the same way the girl has this big envelope in their body where the baby can grow, the seed for the baby has to get there. It has to get there. How does it get there? Okay, now remember, at an age when a girl's body is saying you could be an ima, boys also change. They get tall, they get hairy, they get muscular. They also have a place in their body, and it's the place where they make. Isn't that funny? Okay, whatever. That's where a boy could put the seeds that grow into a baby inside a girl. Finished, unless the child's very mature. So if the child's mature, you could say that this is only for imas and abbas, because imas and abbas have to want to grow the baby and take care of him and be good imas and good abbas. But Hashem made it that people want to just be with boys when they are girls and just be with girls when they're with boys. They have choices in Yetzer Hara. Just like when you go to the mall, you know that you're supposed to pay for everything you buy, but there are people who steal. Then you can tell if you steal, and I once put down my wallet, and you know what? It was down just a few minutes, and somebody stole it. Okay, whatever. You have to have some stories to back yourself up here. So you could say there are people who, girls like boys, boys like girls, they don't want to get married, they don't want to have babies, they just want to use up each other's bodies. That's an avera, and we don't want to make boys want us on purpose without wanting to marry us. That's why we dress tzniusly, and boys don't want to have things with girls that they don't belong to them and they're not going to marry them. That's why they don't go swimming with girls, and that's why they don't look at girls too much. And so that got it to the girl. You don't have to go any further, and these conversations could be fairly separate. If it takes between when the girl is 12 until she's 15, that's okay. If she's very mature or very curious, it doesn't have to take so long. But that's the basic conversation. And if you do it right with the girl, you'll have what I had. I sent one of my girls to the college teacher. She had heard all of these talks. And she came home, she was like, Mommy, you know what she was talking about? So I said, what? This is a whole mitzvah. It's totally new. It's so new. She was very excited about it. I wasn't going to say to her, sweetie pie, it's since Adam and Chava, but she was really very excited. With boys, it's a whole different story. So if it's at all possible, a man talks to a boy, not you. Ideally, if the husband is the boy's father, he should talk to the boy. If there's no husband in the picture, an uncle. If he has a tutor, the tutor. A man should talk to a boy because they experience things differently than girls do. So the man will tell the boy, hey, you grew 4 sizes in 2 years, didn't you? Okay, so one day, you could be as tall as me. You know how tall I am? And he'll say, I don't know. He'll say 5'11". You know what that means? Okay. So he'll show him, yeah, boys get tall. Okay. And when girls are gorgeous. And therefore the Torah wants you to be a father, right girl, by time. But in the meantime, your body's going to tell you, go for it. Go for it. And you're going to want to have to do with girls. You want to see them, you want to touch them, you want to read, and you don't want to get married. You just want to see them and touch them. So Hashem says it's no good. And sometimes, because seeing them and touching them is so good, it was like so good, and the Torah says don't do it, you have to work hard not to do it. You have to work hard. Me, for instance, the mentor could say, I would never go to Eilat in the summer. Never. Even though it doesn't hint to don't go to Eilat. And I know what the girls look like in Eilat. It's hot, and this is Israel, and they're not from. You don't have to be an Eloi to know what it's going to be like. I would never go to Eilat in the summer. Okay, he could talk about the way he overcomes his own temptations. And here this will vary from community to community. In the Hasidic community, that ends it. There's nothing spoken about again, except watch your Kedusha, don't look, don't see, don't touch, don't want. And if Chas v'Shalom happened, your body tells you that you want it so much, you go to the mikveh, and nothing more is said in the Hasidic community and in some of the yeshivic communities. In other communities, they'll tell them more about overcoming temptation and more about how no one always overcomes temptation perfectly, and when things happen, they happen, and you get on with life, you go to the mikveh and you get on with life. But this is, in different communities, they have very different attitude towards this. Okay, but in my own opinion, it's good that a boy should know that he doesn't have to hide from himself and pretend that he's perfect, on one hand, and he has to know he's responsible for his thoughts, for his eyes, for everything else. He has to know this. So these are two different things, and a boy has to hear it from a man. It's very important that he hears all of this from a man. So you have to, if you don't have a husband who's the type, let's say, or if you don't have a husband at all, you have to figure out who can. If you have a husband, you'll consult with him about who can. But boys do have to be spoken to. They have to be warned about things that lead to temptations. They have to be warned about the internet in ways that girls don't have to be warned. They have to be warned about bad friends in ways that girls don't have to be warned, and you have to have a man to warn them. Okay, it's like, your body this and your body that. The boys know everything. They learn Gemara. They know about castrated animals. They know everything. They just don't know how to deal with their own temptations. That's what they don't know. They know exactly how a woman gets pregnant. There are like no surprises there. They know the whole thing. They just don't know about themselves. Okay.